Alright guys, I'm here to kind of close out the video series on this Concours 1000. Kind of give you my thoughts and give you the rundown of how much it costs, because that was the whole point of this video, was kind of trying to do how much does it cost to get a bike like this, get it on the road again, and how much does it cost to get into motorcycling. So hopefully I can break this down. It's going to be different from state to state or country to country, but this is how much it cost me, and what I think of the bike I'll give you in just a minute. First of all, the cost of the bike was $1,000. That's what I bought the bike for, and so $1,000 was the initial cost. I replaced brake hoses, and that was around $65, $66. That was for some braided brake lines, and I still have to get one braided brake line for the top part up here to go from the master cylinder down to the junction. The one I got was a little too long, and then the other one that I got was a little too short. So I just went back with the rubber brake line on it for now. The other thing was the cables. I get a new throttle cables, the push and the pull, and that was $37.95. The other thing, this one had a bad slave cylinder. Well, the seals were bad on the slave cylinder, so I replaced those. The seal kit that I picked up, I think I picked it up off at Amazon, I believe, was $10.18. So that wasn't bad at all, and it was really easy to rebuild. Hopefully you watched that video, because that may help you out. So just make sure you maintain your fluids on that. Change your fluids often. I got a Petcock rebuild kit, and that was $35.79. And that was a fairly easy job as well, and apparently very important on these bikes, because that will fail, and if that fails and your floats needles fail and it fills the cylinder's gasoline, it can lock your motor and bend a valve. So you may definitely want to make sure you do that one. Now, the largest cost for this bike, other than the initial price, was the tires. The rear tire on this bike is kind of hard to find a good tire for it, or the size, but I was able to find it. It's like a bias ply tire. They seem to be pretty good tires, and that was $207 for the front and the rear. So that brings the total of what I spent on this bike to get it in riding condition was $1,374.83 basically. So that was just mainly just the getting it ready to go on the road. I'm sure there's going to be other things that come up that need to be replaced, but that was just the initial price. I didn't have to do the air cleaner because it was brand new, and I realized one thing I forgot to put on here was spark plugs. I did get spark plugs. They were pretty cheap, like 20 bucks. So, okay, that was weird. I don't know why my camera shut off, but anyhow, so the spark plugs would take it up a little bit. So I'm going to estimate there may be a few things I forgot, in oil, different things like that. I didn't count the oil and the rear end fluid because I already had those. But we're going to say $1,400 roughly. Then the title and tags. I added that because that's one thing that people may not think about. Here in Virginia, it was $129 to get the title and the tags for it. So, and the taxes that you have to pay on it. So it was $129 roughly. Insurance. I have quite a few bikes, so I use Progressive, and I get a discount for multi bikes. I guess I have 5 bikes registered right now and insured. And insurance is about $60 a year for this bike. And their rates fluctuate just a little, but usually that's about what I pay. $60 give or take, and that's just for liability. I don't have full coverage on this bike because to me it's $1,000 bike. If it gets in an accident and I lose it, yeah, it sucks. But um, the premiums are so much higher if you have full coverage. So I just go with liability on it. But I raise up my bodily injury and things a little bit higher. So about $60 a year. In Virginia, we have personal property tax. So every year you have to pay taxes on it just for parking it in the county that you live in. And that's about $45 a year. So the grand total of everything that it would cost me probably for the year, not counting fuel, of course, and not counting other maintenance costs like oil changes and things like that, it's at $1,600. About $1,600 or $1,610 roughly. So not terrible to get into motorcycling if you're willing to learn and do things yourself. This bike has been kind of a pain because it just seems like everything I did on it, I had to fight with it. I think I had the carbs off probably 10 times and I didn't record them all because it was just me having to repeat several things. I had to go through the carbs several times to get them totally clean and get everything unclogged. So I think I had a video or two of taking the carbs off, but there was quite a few other times I had to take them off and continue cleaning them and working out little passageways. I finally got it where I think everything is good. I took it for about a 65-mile ride yesterday and it ran really good. It is a dog when it's cold. Does not like to be cold, but once the heated up a little bit, it ran really good. I probably shouldn't have ran it yesterday because we did have snow and it kind of melted, so the roads were pretty nasty. But I had to ride it. I had a problem with the title on this bike. The previous owner signed the title in the wrong spot, and I totally missed it when I bought it because it was a Florida title. I'm not used to Florida titles. I'm used to Virginia, Maryland, Pennsylvania titles, and they're all pretty straightforward. Well, this had one little box where the owner had to sign it, and we missed that. And so the owner split time in Virginia or in Maryland and in Florida, and they happened to be back in Florida. So I had to send the title to them and have them sign everything properly and send it back to me with a bill of sale. Since she signed it in the wrong location, my DMV wanted a bill of sale also. And so in the long run, everything was taken care of, but it pushed things back about 2 weeks and it got really cold here in those 2 weeks. I ride year round with heated gear. You see my heated controller right here. But I ride year round and we get good days and bad days. Yesterday was kind of an in between. It was kind of warmed up, but the roads were nasty. Now today it's really cold again, and it's going to be down to like 6 degrees for a week. So I won't be riding for probably a week. But all in all, the bike runs good once I figured out a couple little quirks. And once I put new plugs, got the carbs straight, did the valve adjustment, everything should be done on this bike where it doesn't have to have anything done. So I think it's like 6,000 miles. It's the maintenance intervals on the bike. So I learned a lot about this bike. So if I keep it, I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it or not. But I really like it. So I may keep it and commute on it for a while and just see how I like the bike over time. But I learned a lot about the bike and a lot of little quirks that the Concours have. Okay, I don't know why my camera keeps shutting off. It's driving me crazy. But so those are the little things you'll learn and learn to work on. But all in all, riding it for about 60 miles yesterday, it's a very comfortable bike. It's kind of strange. The foot pegs are a little high compared to the seat height and the bike itself, but it wasn't anything terrible. I can't wait to get this out and take it on some really long rides, maybe a day ride somewhere, and really see what the bike is like and what it can do. has nice power. I like the power pulling, and I'm a sucker for the four-cylinder motorcycles. I love the sound of a four-cylinder, and it screams to me, and it sounds to me like a Formula One car or a race car of some type. I love the sound they make, and this one has a really nice sound. Wish it was just a little tad bit louder, but all in all, it's great for what it is. So that's how much roughly it would cost you to get into riding. It may be a little higher, a little lower where you're at, but do searches, search for cheap parts. And I don't mean cheap as in just, you know, cheap quality of parts, but look and find good quality parts for lower prices. You can find them online. Look at reviews. If you do buy parts on Amazon, seal kits, things like that, look at the reviews. Other people have written about it because that really helps. And you can sometimes find some parts that are very cheap, or go to your dealer, support your dealer. I do support my dealer on some things, but there's other things they just jack the price way up and I can't afford it. So that's my thoughts on this bike. Get out there and find something. There's tons of cheap bikes out there that are good bikes that still have a lot of life left in them. Don't be scared of high mileage bikes if they've been well taken care of. This is a 19,000 mile bike, which kind of scared me a little bit because the miles were so low. Um, and I think that's what 900 miles a year roughly that somebody had ridden this bike since it was new in 2004. That kind of scared me a little bit because how well was it maintained? It's been sitting. What's gunked up? What's nasty? And that's what I found out about the carb. The carbs were all gunked up. So those are little things, and like the brake or the clutch cylinder, all messed up. So those are little things you'll have to check out. That's kind of the downside of a low mileage motorcycle. It may have sat, but all in all, happy with the bike so far. I'm happy with the setup. Has the handlebar risers on it, which are nice. I'm very happy with it. Look forward to riding it a lot. I would have taken you guys with me yesterday on the ride, but the weather was just so bad with overspray and spray all over the place. It was nasty. But I had to get out and test this thing before the cold front came in. So really happy with it. Hope you like it. The video series I did, I hope it helps. Please comment. If you have other suggestions, just comment. Let me know what you think. Thanks for following. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe. I'll have more to come. And